So what if one of the most controversial leaders in modern politics just declared that one of the Caribbean's most influential countries is about to collapse? That's exactly what Donald Trump said this week, claiming that Cuba is in its last moments of life. But is Cuba really about to fall? Or is it just political pressure from Washington? Let's break this down. So during a major regional meeting in Florida, US President Donald Trump made a bold claim about Cuba. Trump said the island nation is at the end of the line and suggested that the Cuban system could soon collapse. According to him, the country is struggling with serious economic pressure, including shortage of money, fuel, and resources. And if you have been following the news coming out of Cuba, you will know the country has been dealing with major power outages, food shortages, and growing public frustration. But Trump didn't stop there. He also claimed that Cuban officials are trying to negotiate with the United States, with discussion involving US Senator Marco Rubio. If true, that would signal a very significant shift in the long-standing tension between Washington and Hanover. Now, here where things getting a bit interesting for me. So for decades, Cuba has survived heavy US sanctions and international pressure. After the Cuban Revolution led by Fidel Castro in 1959, the island became one of the most famous socialist states in the world. And despite economic struggles, the Cuban system has remained in place for more than 60 years. But today, the situation is different. So for many years, Cuba depended heavily on oil and economic support from Venezuela. As Venezuela's own economy weakened and support began to shrink, that left Cuba facing a serious energy and economic crisis. This situation matters not just for Cuba, though, but for the entire Caribbean region. Countries like Jamaica have had strong relationships with Cuba for decades, and rightly so. It's like a stone throw away from the island. Thousands of Caribbean students have studied medicine in Cuba, and Cuban doctors have worked across the region. In fact, Cuba's medical diplomacy has been one of its strongest international influence. So if Cuban system were to collapse or change drastically, the ripple effect could be felt across the Caribbean and Latin America as well. But here's the real question that I really want to know. Is Cuba truly on the brink of collapse? Or is it this statement simple political messaging from Donald Trump as tension in the region continue to grow? History has shown that Cuba has survived decades of economic pressure, sanctions, and predictions of collapse. So whether this moment marks the beginning of the end or just another chapter in a long geopolitical struggle, this remains to be seen. So what do you think? Is Cuba really near the end of its current system? Or will they survive like it has always done for the last 60 years? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more Caribbean and global political analysis and reviews, make sure you subscribe to CBC and stay tuned. Big up. Bless up.